In our last lesson, we learned how to multiply a monomial with any polynomial. In this lesson, we're going to talk about multiplying binomials. Remember that binomials are polynomials with two terms. So this first is a binomial times a binomial. Now, there's two ways you can go about it, and as you do your Math Excel, you're going to see it referred to two things. The distributive property, which we know, and then what we call FOIL. And FOIL is just another way to technically think of the distributive property. So we'll talk about FOIL in just a second. The way I like to talk and teach multiplying a binomial times any polynomial, really, is that it's just double distribute. I'm going to take this 2x and I'm going to take it times 3x. So that's going to give me 6 because 2 times 3 is 6. So 6x squared. And again, I'm not sure why sometimes my pen's not writing. All right, so we have 6x squared because x times x is x squared. So I'm going to take that 2x times the 3x, and then I'm going to take that 2x times the negative 7. So that's going to give me a negative 14x. And then I'm going to come to my 4 here, and I'm going to distribute it through. So I'm going to take 4 times 3, which is a positive 12x. And then I'm going to take 4 times my negative 7, which is a negative 28. After we do that, we just combine like terms. So negative 14 plus 12, negative 14x plus 12x, the 6x squared, and the negative 28 will just drop down. Since the 14 is bigger, it's going to be negative, and 14 minus 12 is 2. So we have 6x squared minus 2x minus 28. And this right here, is our final answer. So, again, the way I think about it is just double distribute. I'm going to take the first one times everything in the second, and then the second term times everything in the second parentheses or the second binomial. Now, what FOIL stands for is first, which was taking 2x times 3x, and then outside, which is our 2x times our negative 7, inside, which is the 4 times the 3x, and then last, which would be our 4 times our negative 7. Notice it is not different. It's not different. But FOIL can only be used on a binomial times a binomial. So that's why Mrs. Cartwright prefers, and you will always hear me say, double distribute, because double distribute works with any binomial times any polynomial. So there is no restrictions to using the term double distribute, whereas FOIL only works for binomial times binomial. All right, so another binomial times binomial. I'm going to take 5x times 2x. 5 times 2 is 10. X times x is x squared. 5x times negative 1 is going to give us a negative 5x. Negative 3 times 2x is going to give us a negative 6x. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. And then negative 3 times negative 1 gives us a positive 3. Now, do not forget your signs as you go through. And then from here, we just combine our like terms. So the 10x squared comes down. There's just like certain parts on my tablet now that does not want to write. 10x squared. And then negative 5x, negative 6x makes that a negative 11x, because both are negative, so you're going to add, plus 3. And that's our answer. And that's how we take a binomial times a binomial. And I think we have, is it just one more? Yep. So one more, binomial times a trinomial. I know the binomial is at the back. I'm still going to multiply the binomial through the trinomial. So I'm going to start with the 2x. I'm going to take it times the 3x squared. So that gives me 6x squared, or not x squared, x cubed. Excuse me. And what I'm doing, I'm still going to do that double distribute. I'm going to take this 2x times this x, and I'm going to get a positive 2x squared, and then 2x times negative 5, and get a negative 10x. Now, the only difference when I do a trinomial is to help with just combining like terms. I line them up as I go and do it vertically. So now I'm going to take a negative 7 times 3x squared, so that's going to give us a negative 21x squared. I'm going to take that negative 7 times x, so I get a negative 7x, and then negative 7 times negative 5, which is a positive 35. And then because I've already lined up my like terms, I just have to add down. So I get 6x cubed. The negative 21 is bigger, so it's going to be a negative. And then 21 minus 2 is 19. So negative 19x squared. Both are negative, so they're going to stay negative. Add them, we get 17x. And then just bring down the 35. And so, again, you don't have to. You could continue writing negative 21x squared, minus 7x plus 35. I just tend to stack it as I multiply, because then everything's already with its like term and I can just visualize it and add down. But that, when we multiply by a binomial, double distribute. That's the way that it is. We're double distributing. Don't forget your rules for multiplying exponents, but other than that, multiply and combine like terms. That's what I got for you. If you need anything else, let me know. Until next time, Cartwright out.